Today I'm going to demo how to create activity 1.2.5 part 2. So let's get started. You can see that I have OnShape open. So first thing is I'm going to open up my Unit 1 folder. I'm going to go up to Create. I'm going to select Document. I'm going to give it a good name. So we're going to say Activity 1.2.5 Part 2. And I'll select OK. OnShape will open up. And the first thing I want to do is I want to remove a couple of my planes. So I'm going to turn off the top plane and the right plane. I'm going to go up and start a new sketch, and I'm going to select my front plane. I'm going to go to my view cube. I'm going to turn that plane right at me. And now when I look at the part, I'm seeing that we have a lot of round things. And when it's round, I automatically want to assume, hey, I want to go to revolve. So I'm going to go up here to my 2-point rectangle. I'm going to go to my corner rectangle. And I'm going to start right here at my origin again. I'm going to bring up a rectangle. Well, if I look at my drawing, it says my bottom rectangle is 0.5 high. So let's go to Dimension Tool, and let's make that 0.5 high. Now, my diameter of my cylinders is 1.25. So I know I need to cut that in half. So let's see what OnShape can help us with. So I come down here to this. I know I need to be 1.25, and I need half of that. So let's type in 1.25 divide by 2. Let's see what OnShape does. Well, it does all the math for us. So I'm pretty good right here. Let's hit our green check mark. I'm going to go to my isometric view so I can see what's happening. I'll zoom in a little bit. I'm going to go to revolve. I'm going to grab the shape I want to revolve. Oh, I see my red box, and if I go over it, it says, hey, select an axis to revolve around. So let's click the red box, and let's select the axis we want to revolve around, and there's my bottom cylinder. I hit my green check mark, looking pretty good. I need to put a square column on top of this. So let's right-click this time and do a new sketch. And I'm going to go to my view cube, and I'm going to go hit select top, so it flips it right at me. And then I'm going to go up here to my rectangle, and this time I'm going to pick center point rectangle because I can see the center point right there because of where I made my first drawing. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to make my center point rectangle right on my origin. I needed to mention that. If I look at my drawing, it says my column is 0.5 by 0.5. So 0.5 by 0.5. Okay, looking good. So let's finish this sketch. I'm going to go into isometric mode. I'll zoom in a little bit so we can see what's happening. I'm going to go to extrude. I'm only going to select my center square column. All right, now it says my whole part is 2.5 high, and I have a small lower part and an upper part. So let's see what OnShape can do again for us. So if my whole part is 0.25, I can subtract out the bottom part, the bottom cylinder, which is 0.5, and now I can also subtract out the top cylinder, which is 0.25, and let OnShape do all the work for me. There's my center column. I need to put in another round disc up on top here. So let's right click, new sketch. Let's look at the top. I'm going to go to circle this time. I'm going to start right here at the center. I'm just going to open up the circle real quick. We'll dimension it, and our drawing says it's 1.25. So let's just type in 1.25. We'll hit our green check mark. Let's go to isometric mode because I really want you to see this. So now we actually have two shapes up here. I have this round shape and I have the square shape. So let's go to extrude. If I just pick the round shape, you're going to see I don't get that square. So I have to select that square inside there to make that solid. And our drawing says our top cylinder is 0.25 high. So let's type in 0.25 and hit the green check mark. The last thing we have to do is put 3 holes all the way through the center column. So I'm going to right click on that center column. I'm going to do a new sketch. I'm going to go to my front face, flip it right at me, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see everything that's going to happen. The first thing is I'm going to make a line, and I'm going to select this midpoint right up here, and I'm going to bring it right down the middle of that column, and I'm going to select the other midpoint here down the bottom. I'm going to hit the escape key to get out of my line command. Now I'm going to put 3 circles, and I got to be careful when I start putting these in. So I'm going to put 1 in there. Now I want to make sure that I don't grab that midpoint right there because it'll lock it right there. So I'm going to come down here a little bit, and I'll put another one in, and then I'll come my way up here and put my 3rd circle in. If I look at my diagram, it says each one of those circles has a diameter of 0.375. So I'm going to go to my dimension tool. I'm going to dimension those 3 circles by grabbing the outside edge, 0.375. Let me grab the last one, 0.375. Now, okay, now I have to locate my circles up and down. So I'm still in my dimensioning tool. To locate the center of a circle, you want to grab the center point. And I'm going to grab one of these lines. Grab that again. And it says my first dimension from that line is 0.5. My next one, it says from center to center. So center of one circle to the center of the second circle. Again, that is also 0.5. And then from the center of my second circle to the center of my top circle, that again is also 0.5. So I'm going to type in 0.5 right there. So now I have my circles located up and down. I have the correct size. And I also have them left and right because they are locked on that center line. Now that center line is sitting there, and I need to kind of make it sort of invisible. And the way I do that, I'm going to hit the escape tool. I'm going to come over onto that line when it highlights, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to select construction. Okay. If you notice very carefully, if I can zoom in, that my lines turn from a short line to a dot, short line, dot, short line, dot. That's a construction line. I can use a construction line while I'm in 2D mode to locate things or to put things on. But when I go into 3D mode, it kind of disappears. So let's hit our green check mark. Okay. I know you still see it, but you'll watch what happens. I'm going to rotate this just a little bit so I can still see my circles. I'm going to go over to my extrude command. Let me make sure I can grab the extrude. Extrude. I'm going to grab that circle, and that circle. Well, I know that these don't stick out. They go back the other way in their holes. So I'm going to slide my thing all the way back. I'm going to select remove. Once I do that, I'm going to hit my green check mark. I'm going to go into isometric mode. And there is my part 1.2.5 part 2.